Here's a question for you. How many times have you started a conversation and thought, I should ask about the weather, or what do they do for work? And then, nothing. The conversation just dies.
It's so awkward, isn't it? You're both standing there, the energy just flat, wondering if there's anything left to talk about. It feels like you're reading from a script instead of actually connecting with someone.
But here's the thing. It's not because you're bad at talking to people. It's because you're asking the wrong topics. Most people get conversation backwards. They think connection comes from surface-level questions.
But what if we told you there are exactly 5 conversation topics that neuroscience shows literally activate someone's brain for connection? Topics so powerful that when you ask about them, people don't just answer you, they want to keep talking.
These aren't random questions. They're topics that tap into something every single human being cares about. Your experiences, your growth, your passions, what matters to you, your dreams. These are the real conversation builders.
Today, we're walking through all 5. You're getting the exact phrases to use, real-life examples of how they work, and the psychology behind why they're so incredibly effective. Stick around. This is going to completely change how people respond to you.
Welcome to Speak Fluent English Lab, where learning to speak fluent English feels simple and fun. I'm David.
Hi everyone, I'm Lena.
Right then, our first topic is one of the most universally engaging conversation starters, meaningful experiences in travel.
Think about this for a moment. When you meet someone new, what do you actually want to know about them? Not their job title, not what they do for work. You want to know, what have they experienced? Where have they been? What moments have shaped who they are?
This topic works because literally everyone has experiences. Everyone's traveled somewhere, across the world or across their own city. And here's the brilliant bit. When people talk about their experiences, they're naturally revealing who they really are.
So the phrase is simple. What's a place you visited that completely surprised you? Or even better, tell me about an experience that changed your perspective.
Notice what's happening here. You're not asking what they did, you're asking about the impact. That's the magic. You're asking for the story, not the facts. When someone shares an experience that surprised them or shifted how they see things, you're getting access to their actual values and what genuinely matters to them.
Some variations. What's somewhere you've been that felt completely different from what you expected? Or tell me about a moment when you felt truly alive. Or what experience taught you something unexpected about yourself? Notice the pattern. You're asking about the revelation, not just the destination.
I was at a networking event, and instead of asking someone, what do you do? I asked, what's a place you visited that surprised you? Her entire face lit up. She started telling me about a trip to Morocco, how she went expecting one thing and instead ended up volunteering at a local school, which completely redirected her entire career. We talked for 40 minutes. One question. That's the power of asking about meaningful experiences.
When you ask about experiences, something brilliant happens. People don't just give you facts, they share their stories, their values, who they actually are beneath the surface. That's when real connection starts to happen. Next topic is absolutely deceptively simple, but it's incredibly powerful for creating connection, personal growth, and learning.
Everyone's on a journey. Everyone's learning something, developing something, working towards something. And when you ask someone about their growth, you're asking them about what matters to them right now, not what mattered 5 years ago, what's currently activating them.
This topic does something special. It activates curiosity in both directions. When you ask about someone's learning journey, they get curious about yours. It becomes this mutual exchange of growth, instead of one person interrogating the other.
The phrase is, what skill or topic are you currently learning about and what drew you to it? Or, what's something you've been developing lately that genuinely excites you?
This question does something really clever. It shows you're interested in their present, not their past. You're asking what's currently making them grow. That's where the real energy lives. That's where genuine connection happens.
Variations. What new skill have you picked up recently? Or is there something you're working toward that feels exciting right now? Or what area are you trying to get better at? The common thread is always present plus development. Could be professional, could be personal, could be a hobby. It doesn't matter. You're asking about their active growth.
I was standing in a coffee queue and someone next to me had a coding book. Instead of just ignoring it, I said, "I noticed you're reading a coding book. What's drawing you to learning to code?" He went from being a random stranger to telling me his entire career transition story, his fears, his excitement, his why. We exchanged contact information. One question about his learning journey created a genuine connection.
Notice what happened there. You didn't need to know anything about him beforehand. You just asked about his present learning journey, and he opened right up. That's the magic of asking about growth. Right, our third topic might seem obvious, but most people ask about it completely wrong. Let's talk about passions and creative interests.
Here's what usually happens. Someone asks, "What are your hobbies?" And people give one-word answers. Gaming, reading, gardening. Conversation dies. But there's a way to ask about passions that creates genuine excitement and connection.
Passions reveal priorities. When you know what someone loves doing in their free time, when they're not being productive for anyone else, you know what actually matters to them. That's the real person. That's who they are when nobody's watching.
So the phrase is, what do you love doing so much that you lose track of time? Or what's something you do purely because you enjoy it, not because you have to?
Notice the difference? You're not asking what they do. You're asking about the feeling. That flow state where time disappears. That's where passion actually lives. That's where you access the authentic person.
Variations. What makes you come alive? Or what activity makes you lose track of time? Or if you had a free weekend with zero obligations, what would you spend it doing? The key phrase here is doing your own thing, pursuing something purely for yourself, not for anyone else. And here's a pro tip. They might say, "I don't know," at first. That's fine. Then you follow up with, "What's something you've been wanting to try but haven't gotten around to?" That usually unlocks the real answer.
I was at a professional event with someone who seemed totally reserved. I asked, "What's something you love doing so much you lose track of time?" She said, "Photography." I could have left it there, but I followed up. "What draws you to photography?" And suddenly she's animated, telling me about photographing abandoned buildings, the stories they tell, how it's like archaeological work. We both love urban exploration. That conversation transformed everything about how we worked together afterward, because we'd connected on something real.
The passion topic reveals the actual person behind the professional role. That's genuine connection.
Now we're getting deeper. Our fourth topic is values and what truly matters most to someone.
Most surface-level conversations stay shallow, but values, that's where the real person lives. Understanding someone's values is understanding what drives their decisions, their priorities, the way they move through the world. That's when you see who they actually are.
This topic requires a bit more vulnerability from you, which means it creates reciprocal vulnerability in the other person. When you ask about values, you're essentially saying, "I want to understand what really matters to you." That's powerful.
The phrase is, what's something that's really important to you that maybe doesn't seem obvious from the outside? Or, what value do you think is most missing in today's world?
The first question invites them to share something personal about their values. The second is more universal. It asks them to reflect on the bigger importance of something. Both activate deeper thinking. Both create genuine connection.
Variations. What principle do you absolutely refuse to compromise on? Or what matters more to you, achievement or relationships? Or What would you want people to remember about you? The phrase, staying true to yourself, comes up naturally here. It's about values alignment. These questions require people to actually think. That's why they create such strong connection.
I was interviewing someone for a potential business partnership. Instead of asking about their business background, I asked, "What's something that's really important to you that maybe doesn't seem obvious?" She said, "Family." Not in a generic way. She talked about how every decision she makes, she asks, "Will this give me time with my kids? Will this let me be present?"
That single answer told me everything I needed to know about her values, her decision-making, and whether we'd be aligned as partners. That's values connection.
Values conversations create trust because they show someone's authentic priorities. When you understand someone's values, you understand their soul. And finally, our fifth and final topic, future aspirations and dreams. This one opens the door to possibility and hope.
Here's what's beautiful about asking someone about their future. You're asking them to reveal what inspires them, not what they have to do, what they want to do, what gets them genuinely excited about tomorrow.
When you ask about someone's dreams and aspirations, you're essentially saying, I believe in your potential. I want to know what you're working toward. That's a profoundly affirming message to send someone. That matters.
So the phrase is, what's something you're working toward that genuinely excites you? Or, if you could design your ideal future, what would it look like?
These aren't asking about logistics. They're asking about vision. You're asking them to paint a picture of what they're reaching for. And when people share their visions, they feel hopeful. Hopeful people are happy people, and they connect deeply with the person who helped them access that hope.
Variations. What's your number one goal right now, and why is it important to you? Or, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you pursue? Or, what would make you feel like you've really made an impact? The phrase reach for the stars or go for it comes up naturally. It's about aspiration. And here's the thing, people rarely get asked about their dreams. Most conversations stay safe, stay surface. So when you ask this, you're doing something generous. You're inviting them to hope out loud.
I met someone at a community event, and instead of asking what they do for work, I asked, what's something you're working toward that excites you? She hesitated, then said she wanted to start a mentoring program for young girls interested in STEM. She'd been thinking about it for 3 years, but had never told anyone because it felt unrealistic. That question gave her permission to voice it. 6 months later, she'd actually started that program. And it happened because someone asked about her aspirations. Dreams need witnesses. When you ask someone about their future, you're becoming a witness to their potential. That creates a real bond.
Dreams need witnesses. When you ask someone about their aspirations, you're becoming a witness to their potential. That creates genuine connection.
So let's lock this in. The 5 conversation topics that create real connection.
1. Meaningful experiences and travel. Ask about moments that shaped them. 2. Personal growth and learning. Ask about what's currently exciting them. 3. Passions and creative interests. Ask what makes them lose track of time. 4. Values and what matters most. Ask about their authentic priorities. And 5. Future aspirations and dreams. Ask about what they're reaching toward.
Notice what these 5 topics have in common? They're not asking about surface things. They're asking about meaning. Who are you? What matters to you? Where are you going? Those are the questions that create genuine connection instead of just small talk.
Here's what's happening in someone's brain when you ask about these topics. First, you're activating curiosity. The brain absolutely loves meaningful topics. Second, you're triggering reciprocity. When you ask deeply, people want to ask deeply back. And third, you're creating emotional resonance. These topics touch on meaning, purpose, identity, the things that make us feel alive.
When you master these 5 topics, you're not just making conversation, you're creating moments where people feel genuinely understood and seen. That's when real connection happens. That's when people remember you. That's when relationships actually deepen.
Here's what we want you to do this week. Pick one of these 5 topics, just one. Use it in a conversation with a colleague, a friend, someone you meet at the coffee shop. Notice what happens to the conversation. Notice how it shifts when you ask about something meaningful instead of something safe.
Come back and comment. Tell us which topic you used and what happened. Did the conversation deepen? Did you learn something unexpected about the other person? Your stories inspire everyone else watching. You might help someone discover that genuine connection is way easier than they think.
Before you go, please hit that like button if these 5 topics are going to change how you approach conversations.
Subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications. We're dropping a video on these topics once someone starts sharing, because starting a conversation is one thing, but keeping it going, that's where the real magic happens.
Comment below, which of the 5 topics are you most excited to try? Or tell us a time when someone asked you a real question instead of small talk and it completely changed how you saw them.
And share this video. Send it to someone who's nervous about starting conversations. You might help them discover that genuine connection is actually simpler than they think. You might change how they feel about connecting with people.
Here's the real talk. Connection isn't complicated. It's not about having the perfect thing to say. It's about asking the right things, the meaningful things, the things that let people show you who they really are.
These 5 topics are your toolkit: experiences, growth, passions, values, aspirations. Master these and you master connection.
Thanks for watching. We're so glad you're here. Now go have a real conversation. And remember, the person across from you, they're probably hoping someone asks them about something that matters.
Good luck out there. You've absolutely got this.